Welcome to Mayapura. What a special place. A lot of beautiful things to share, but I want to begin with the meditation on the power of faith in action. I was thinking on the way up the stairs how coming here to Mayapura, it makes me feel like I'm witnessing faith in action. We were there for the morning prayers. I had Jaidev come and say, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Mangalarti because I have a few calls and meetings, and we've been traveling since 6 a.m. and I've been up since 4 a.m. And I said, I just don't think I'll be able to get it there to Mangalarti tomorrow. I had meetings with the New York devotees, messages, this and that. But I just couldn't sleep very much. Got up at 1:30, then nodded off, and then 3:30, and then you're up at 3:30, let's go for Mangalarti. And we got lost on the way. I said, if Krishna wants us to see him, he'll arrange. And then immediately a taxi guy, the little electric rickshaws came. And he was probably going home to sleep because he wasn't interested in taking us. I said, please take us. He said, 100 rupees. And I was like, 100 rupees? And so he started leaving. Like, I'm not haggling at 3:30, 4 a.m. So I said, no, please, please. Let's get to Mangalarti. We want to see Krishna. And when we got there, how many people were in that temple hall? Must have been 3,000-4,000. And you see Panchatattva standing 10 feet tall, maybe. So magnanimous, so effulgent, so powerful. And at the same time, Aarti's going on for Radha Madhav. And some devotees were saying, no, let's stay for Panchatattva Darshan. I said, no, I know how this works. When Darshan's available, you have to run. And we just got there, Radha Madhav, the beautiful Astasakis. And we were there for maybe 60 seconds, and then their curtain closed. How beautiful, how sweet, how powerful. Hearing the devotees chant in one voice. But how is it in one voice? Under guidance. This is one important principle in spiritual life. We talk about being on the path to pure love. To be on the path to pure love, you follow the footsteps of those who have pure love. So we learn how to be under guidance. Last night, our Kendra Prabhu said, I won't mention you, it's okay. Some devotee said, too late. No problem. It's a fine question. Who wrote the Gopi Geet? I said, the Gopis. It's their song. The point I'm making about this is that one leader sings and the rest follows. So in the Mangal Aarti, there was one person singing on the loudspeaker, very loud, because it has to be loud enough for 3,000 people, well-balanced sound, so there's speakers all over. But I think the voices of 3,000 people in unison was more powerful. And at the end of the Aarti Darshan, after honoring all of the lineage, all of the great personalities, established by the tradition of Swami Prabhupada, the leader said, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Why? Why should we glorify the assembled devotees? They are the shobha, the effulgence or the beauty of Krishna. Without the devotees, how can we understand Krishna? Krishna is always in relation with his devotees. Every living entity, you should think, is part and parcel of God. So, what does it mean? All glories to the assembled devotees? Those who have assembled. Every living entity is part and parcel of God. Therefore, every living entity should be near God. And they go away and they suffer. It's described to be like a spark of the great fire. It has the quality of fire, but if it goes too far away from the fire, what happens to the spark? The light goes out. And you become covered by ignorance and illusion and bewilderment. You become a lost refugee in a horrible realm of suffering, separate from God, turned away from God. So the glory of our gurus, and especially now meditating on the glories of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he is that guardian of devotion, that general of devotion, who is qualified, capable to bring Krishna's lost souls back into his assembly. And then he glorifies them. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Gaur Lila. Understand? Krishna appeared and performed very sweet pastimes. Rasa dance with Mother Yashoda. He enjoyed the motherly love with the gopis. He experienced the romantic love and the rasa dance with the cowherd boys, experiencing the mood of love and friendship. And he showed how we can relate with God in an intimate way without the mood of reverence that is generally found in religion, but transcending even that stage to have simply a pure spiritual love and relationship without any barrier of higher to lower. So that was given. Krishna showed that. But to get to that stage where we can actually play with Krishna like a cowherd boy in the pasturing grounds in the meadows, you want to be there or you want to talk about it? To get to that position where you can participate in the service of the rasa dance in so many ways, participating and serving, playing music, playing instruments, singing, dancing. You cannot just jump into Krishna's realm. That's why Gaur Lila manifested. Mahaprabhu manifested to give the path to that realm of pure love. But we should also meditate on this understanding that, again, if you want to jump to Mahaprabhu, again, you're simply trying to jump to Krishna. Without shelter of Guru, how can you come to Gauranga? It is Swami Prabhupada who went and gave Mahaprabhu and gave Nityananda Prabhu to the world. If you don't have love for these personalities who bring the souls who are lost and suffering in this world into the assembly of Krishna, and who then glorifies them, and who leads them in one voice, in devotion, in relationship with God, then how will you ever understand Krishna? How will you ever understand Mahaprabhu? Therefore, in our scripture, every morning in our song, we pray, your mercy is the mercy of the Lord. Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. I don't have any chance to come near the Lord without your mercy. Therefore, I honor you. So, going there this morning, I thought we should start our discussions here in Mayapur, just in essence, glorifying Swami Prabhupada. Everyone knows his life story, but I just want to highlight his spirit of love and devotion, and how you can see faith in action. It's faith in action that builds the bridge to Lanka. It's faith in action that lifts Giriraj. This is Krishna himself doing it, but it's the principle. In this Bible it says, faith can move mountains. So Swami Prabhupada went to America with a few dollars in his possession, with one contact, who's not a Hindu, a simple lady in Butler, Pennsylvania, with an Indian husband, I believe. She was a Western lady, and they hosted him. Prabhupada, when they got their storefront, it was very simple. We went there. Did we take you there at that time? 26 2nd Avenue. It's just a very simple little storefront. And so many preachers had come and tried to establish the mission. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada had sent different preachers to the West. And other Indian sadhus of different traditions had come to the West. But no one has established something like Swami Prabhupada has established in the world. It's a historical fact. The movement he brought to establish a foreign religion and culture in the hearts of foreigners, that they embrace it 100%, like we see devotees embracing our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Sometimes with more intense love and devotion and faith than those who are native to it. Sometimes it's said, this is an interesting Hindi saying, at the base of a candle there's darkness. And sometimes you are not able to appreciate what is nearby you. And they say a person is not well regarded in their own village. Outside they may be a great saint. Swami Prabhupada sat under a tree with complete faith in Gaur Nityananda and simply chanted. I'm not going to do the kirtan, I'll get broken up. So I'm going to keep the train moving. But see how much power of conviction he had. And you know what the power of his conviction was in? One thing only, the instruction of his guru. Understanding that God's power and full potential is manifested in the instruction of Guru, who is pure, bona fide acharya, Krishna's true representative. Not show bottle guru or a dime a dozen guru. What we call Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada a ray of God, it's light. Someone like that, he said, I want you to preach in the English language, and I want you to preach in the Western countries and establish Mahaprabhu's philosophy, fulfilling the prophecy of Mahaprabhu, fulfilling the prediction of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Go and do it. And look what he did. From that little tree in Tompkins Square Park, from that little storefront, now there are 1,000 centers around the world where people are practicing bhakti, chanting Krishna's names, worshipping Mahaprabhu, with great love and devotion, worshipping Radha Krishna, with great respect. Sometimes we cheapen the names of Radhe, with no proper etiquette or eligibility or culture or practice. Radhe Radhe, as we had in our last class. This is all demonic chanting if we don't properly follow with respect. She is Swarup Shakti. She's not a doll. She is not someone you can go and force your way into service of. Not possible. ISKCON, they have respect. They put respect on her name. They put respect in Thakurji worship. They put respect in honor of Guru. They put respect in their founder Acharya. They put respect in their mission. They put respect in service. They put respect in a missionary spirit. And chanting Radhe, 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 our respect is in our own enjoyment. How much can we enjoy our Guru's mission? How much can we receive? How much can we take? And Swami Prabhupada, with a few dollars in his pocket, with faith in his Guru's instructions at the age of 70, on a boat. Now, if we don't get a plane, first class ticket, we don't want to go and preach. Prabhupada went on a rickety old boat with no food. He had to get his own little electric cooker or gas cooker and cook for himself. You're on a boat for months. What are they going to be eating? Fish? He's going to give up his dharma and eat meat? Having 2 heart attacks crossing over the Atlantic? You didn't know that? He had 2 heart attacks crossing over the Atlantic. Your age. And then built a worldwide mission that is in his spirit continuing to carry the flag of Mahaprabhu's movement around the world with faith in Harinam, with faith and respect in Radha Krishna, and with faith in Srila Prabhupada. But now people say it's so difficult even to do one temple. How will we pay rent if we have to move somewhere? There'll be 10 devotees living in the house, but how can we pay a few $1,000s rent? Guru's service is to serve us, to clean our diapers, to buy our food, to deal with our domestic quarrels, to solve our psychological issues. And our job is to enjoy and criticize other missions. And pollute our society by our own mentality. And Prabhupada, with faith in his Guru, that faith takes flight, and that faith flies. The pollen of that faith then spreads town to village. That is what real religion is. That's old-time religion. You look at the Christian missionaries, right? Here's your suitcase, here's $100, go and start a project in Zimbabwe. And report back to us every 5-6 years. You hear the stories of St. Francis, of all these different great teachers who took on so much sacrifice to do their service. You know, Swami Prabhupada, when he was first staying in their first little devotee apartments, he would wait in line for the bathroom. They had one shower, one bathroom, and there'd be 15, 20 devotees. And Prabhupada very humbly was just waiting in line. Why? Because Westerners, we have no understanding what is Guru, how to serve Guru. He would cut the potatoes, cook the meals, give the class, publish the book. He stayed in a house with a drug addict who stole his typewriter, stole his manuscripts. Did he give up? Did he go back to India? You say, I am a sannyasi, now people will serve me, I can retire. But once people developed a little bit of respect and faith, then they understood you shouldn't milk the cow and take its blood. Don't milk the cow so much that blood comes out. Don't milk the cow and then want to eat steak. That's not Guru Seva. That's not how you establish the service of Mahaprabhu in the world. And so therefore, there was Satsvarup Maharaj. At that time, I don't remember all their different names, but Satsvarup Maharaj was one of those who got a job to pay rent because he said that is pure bhakti. And we think pure bhakti means I want to enjoy worshipping the deities like they are my dolls in my dollhouse, and my guru is the one who does everything. He does the stuff that's not pure bhakti. Take out the trash, sweep the floor, go and collect rent, go and pay, go and get a job. Our Prabhuji in Mathura laid asphalt in the street at 3 a.m. so that he could have enough to pay back the loan that he spent to pay for Gurudev's Kartik festivals. And why would he do it at 3 a.m.? Because that's when you're allowed that work, and street work is at night, right? 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then daytime, oh, I'm resting. Daytime cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, serving the devotees, accepting the slings and arrows of everyone's criticism because everyone's a shark tank in this world. You get a fish bowl, fill it with a bunch of fish, and naturally people they're going to fight with each other over what? Enjoyment and food and shelter. But look at the spirit. And so Satsrup Maharaj kept his job. Prabhupada, should I keep my job? Should I give it up? No, keep your job. In the beginning in ISKCON, they would try to pass around the basket to collect donations to pay their rent. And they were seeing that people were giving a quarter, giving a dime, giving a nickel, giving a penny. Maybe someone giving $1. That's a big day. And so one of Prabhupada's early disciples, he came up with the idea of blowing the conch shell until the basket was full. It got full pretty quick. After the arti, he would just keep blowing the conch shell. Keep blowing the conch shell. Keep blowing the conch shell. Then people understood what is bhakti and what is seva. Because we come from the background of, my work is my karma and it's all mine, and everything else, I will take whatever I can take advantage of. That's not how the mission is established. Guru Seva is bhakti. It's the best way to achieve bhakti. It's the easiest, simplest, most blissful, happiest way forward. And look at the power of the faith. Prabhupada, in his own character, what he showed. Very quickly, from there, they had a few couples. People think only monks can preach. Only monks are qualified. Prabhupada said, nonsense. This is not Varnashram Dharma. Only a monk can be a preacher. We are followers of transcendental Varnashram. Every Mangalarti, what do we listen to? Jamuna Devi. Beautiful. Her sweet voice. All the sannyasis have to stand and listen to her sing. And she's not even there physically. They have to listen to her recording. Badmash. Chauvinists. Listen to a woman. Listen to her sing. Because understand, it's about the soul, not about the body. Whoever has the most devotion, they are the most exalted. Jai Bhaje She Bada, a Bhakta Hinachar. Those who have the most devotion to God, they are the most exalted. Krishna Bhajana Nahi, in Krishna Bhakti and Krishna Bhajan, there's no consideration of caste, creed, sex. Anyone who's thinking like this, they're out of the realm of bhakti. Doesn't mean there's not etiquette to follow, but first understand the conception. Prabhupada called the ladies Prabhu, and he called the men Prabhu, because he was a revolutionary, because he wanted to break the caste system as it had become a petrified, corrupted form of caste. Again, it's creeping in. That's its own discussion. But what is the transcendental system? Unless we understand that, we can't enter into bhakti. So Prabhupada empowered everyone. Everyone went out. They would have little couples come. He said, okay, you. He would marry them and he'd say, okay, it's your turn to go to London and start a center there. It's your turn to go to Montreal, start a center there. You go to San Francisco, start a center there. You go to San Diego. You go to Los Angeles. You go to Japan. You go to... Throughout the world, that pollen of that faith traveled. And wherever that pollen touched the ground, that faith is so powerful that it germinated, sprouted, and with ecstatic love and faith and devotion, people began preaching. And that way Prabhupada built the mission. But all glories to the assembled devotees. It took the power of faith and action for everyone to come together and just lend a little hand. Prabhupada said, no problem, keep your job. What does preaching mean? A Sunday program? How long does it take? 2 hours. What are you going to do for the other 140 hours of the week? Plus. Sleeping takes 6 to 8 hours a day. If you're sattvic, in the mode of goodness, sleeping is 6 hours a day. If you're rajasic, sleeping is 8 hours a day. If you're tamasic, sleeping is 10, 12, 14, 16, and upwards. And if you're very tamasic, then eventually, your next life, you become something like a sloth or a koala. Koalas, they chew on eucalyptus leaf and it has very little nutrients, so it allows them to sleep for like 18 hours a day. This is the result of slothly mentality. So anyhow, Prabhupada in this way built this mission. But he did it himself, first showing his own example, but then he gave everyone a chance to help. After a while, it wasn't that, oh, Prabhupada, still you should stand 20th in line for the shower. Still you should collect the bhoga and cook the veggies. So, first offering pranam to Prabhupada. I'm going to touch on the glories of Mayapur. And we have lots of time, so we'll have our darshan. And morning time we'll have class, because there's so many sweet things to discuss. But first, understand the glories of Prabhupada and his devotees. They are the Shobha, the effulgence of Prabhupada. So also honor them. All glories to the assembled devotees and their efforts and their love and devotion, their sincerity, their desire to please and serve Prabhupada. Mayapur manifested when Mahaprabhu came. I won't go too long, but this is a big topic, so we'll touch on it and then we'll continue forward. But this is just laying the setting. Krishna came in Dwapara Yuga, 5,000 years more than 5,000 years before the onset of Kali Yuga. As we described, he performed very sweet pastimes. But everything was still mixed with different rasas, and many demons would come to Braj, and there were many groups and parties. Mayapur is very one-pointed. It's a very special place. So I want to describe the special glories of Mayapur. Krishna first appeared in Vrindavan, Braj, and also Mathura. Lord Ram appeared in Ayodhya, also in North India. So a lot of the pastimes of the Lord and a lot of his incarnations are there. But why did Mahaprabhu appear in Mayapur in Bengal? There's specialties of that. You guys can bring your shades tomorrow. So, I just want to touch just a little bit about Mayapur. Just give a few breadcrumbs and then we'll come back to it. All right, and we'll elaborate.